Hi, Carl here for Proav TV, and I'm at the Canon stand at IBC 2018 talking to Paul. Okay, so Paul, the XF705.
Yep.
This looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we're really pleased to be able to launch a camera at IBC. So we launched this announced this 2 days ago. You're looking at the worthy successor to the XF305, which has been for many years a really good, reliable workhorse. It's paid for itself many times over for a lot of content producers, right the way across the spectrum of the industry, broadcast, corporate, news gathering, the whole lot. A couple of firsts for us on this one. This is the first camera of its class to incorporate HEVC with H.265 compression. It'll give us 422 10-bit in that, internally to SD card at 160 megs per second.
Which is the big deal, really, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
Nothing else can do that SD
Absolutely,
cards.
absolutely not. Alternatively, we can also do XF AVC, 4208-bit, which is the same as you'll find on the 405, etc. We can also output from this 422 10-bit in UHD or FHD in in HEVC. All these acronyms.
So many letters.
I know, letters all the way. But that'll come out of a 12G SDI, so only one cable required for 4K or HDMI. The last output is a 16 megs per second IP streaming.
Yeah,
All right.
amazing.
Again, HEVC in 4K or Full HD. We can also on this record HDR in both flavors, so PQ and HLG. And the way to think of this, you'll know from our other cameras we have the wide dynamic range setting. Gives you the wide dynamic range, you don't need to grade it. This is exactly the same for HDR. So whereas HDR has always, and still is, in many cases a post-production part of the whole workflow, you can do it straight from the camera on this. If you're a traditionalist, however, for the first time on a non-cinema camera we've included Canon Log 3. So there's a whole range in there of options for creative filmmaking if you want to grade it traditionally or you want a quick turnaround. The lens is a 15 times zoom, red lens. It's an L-class lens all the way through. That incorporates now almost ubiquitous dual pixel CMOS AF with the manual focus guide as well. The screen is a touch screen for selecting focus points, same as you'll see on the C200.
So it's a 1-inch sensor inside,
One-inch
so it
sensor,
will be quite shallow depth of field for this sort of a camera.
Absolutely.
So that dual pixel autofocus is so important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing is that even people now on things like users of C700, where you have obviously this thing, they're beginning to trust dual pixel AF because they know that they can tune it. And the same in this. You can tune the speed, you can tune the speed of response, as well as the speed of focusing as well. And all the other things you'd expect to see on the focus inside. So the face tracking, face priority, plus other object tracking as well. So for non-human faces, vehicles, other moving objects. The layout of the controls, I think, is quite familiar to people moving up from the 305. Some refinements made, one of which, obviously we're now recording to SD card, and we have individual doors. And the audio controls are here, but nicely, if you want to find out what your audio status is, you don't need to go scrolling through menus anymore. You've got a shortcut button straight here that puts it up on the screen.
Really cool.
As far as connections are concerned, we've made a few other changes, and a lot of these changes have been really as a result of feedback. So we maintain the major connections to the right, major controls to the left. Obviously there'll be some here. But you also notice like individual covers instead of one big cover like you had on 305. Yep. And we've split the XLR inputs. So we have one at the front and one at the back. The one at the back, we have a bracket here that a third-party radio mic can be connected to. Cool. You know, if you're not using one of those nice new ones that just look like a big dongle, but are very, very good. So all in all, you've got a camera that is slightly smaller, slightly lighter than its predecessor, but far, far more capable in regards to its codec and its image quality.
I mean, a lot of that is because of this codec, isn't it?
Yeah.
So shall we talk a little bit more about what H.265 or HEVC actually means for the industry? Because it's huge, this is the world's first HEVC camera.
Pro
like
camera,
this.
yeah.
Pro camera,
I mean,
exactly.
there are HEVC is out there in other makes, but not maybe at this level. So H.265 compression is just another move on, if you like, in making something a viable size, but without losing the quality. And those of us that were able to remember when H.264 came in to replace MPEG-2, and people saying it'll never work, it'll be far too compressed, and it wasn't lossless, but it looked lossless. So if you think of MPEG-2 as 100%, H.264 would be 50%, H.265 is about 25%. It's a very, very clever algorithm. I don't pretend for a second to understand the maths on it. All I know is it works. And that's the important thing. But it works in a way that it means that we can get this relatively affordable recording medium of SD card. Yes, you need the US2 grade, I think it is.
You need a fast one. But it's 160 megabits per second.
Megabits per second,
And most of the competition is up at 400, 600, that sort of level.
I mean, which we do ourselves in XF AVC, not HEVC. But again, it's horses for courses. You know,
and this is a documentary camera.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a camera, I think, that's been a long time coming. But I think this is, as I said at the very beginning, this is such a worthy successor to the 305. And I genuinely cannot. I really am excited about the launch of this. I think it's been a long time coming. I think it's what the industry needs and what the industry wants, more importantly.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thanks for coming, Carl.